Good afternoon and welcome to GrainTV. Today is Friday, June 22nd. I'm Abby Schmaltz, and to my right is Cody Bills. Cody, let's jump into the board here for today. We had corn up 3 3/4, soybeans up 3, Chicago wheat up 11 1/2, and Kansas City wheat up 3. Cody, what did you find in soybeans?
Yeah, we've been focusing on it a lot because it just seems to be the more volatile commodity right now. If you take a look at this July daily corn or soybean chart, you'll notice that we were really unable to break above that 1450 resistance. We touched on it a couple times back here. We rallied up against it. We're also running into that trend line. It used to be trend line support, is now acting as trend line resistance here. But just notice we had a lot of difficulty. So I don't know if this is going to foreshadow a little bit of selling early on in the week, next week, but I think most likely what's going to drive the market will be the weather conditions. Abby, what are you seeing over in the cash market? I know that we've seen a lot of strength in the cash market for an extended period of time. Is that continuing, or are we seeing any softening?
Well, this week we actually saw spot corn and soybean basis drop. Corn was down 3, soybeans were down 2, and ethanol plant basis was actually down 1 cent. Despite that, if you look at this chart here for the past year, ethanol basis has remained relatively strong. We're at 31 cents above the July contract and 53 cents above the 5-year average and 37 cents above the maximum basis. If you look at the river terminal in a similar chart, you see that we are at 27 cents above the July contract, 47 cents above the 5-year, and 35 cents above the maximum basis. You know, it has dropped this week. It was down 7. But that was after the Gulf had kind of peeled off from its highs that it saw earlier this month.
Yeah, that is interesting, especially when you're showing those ethanol plant bases. I've heard talk of certain ethanol plants shutting down, at least temporarily, just because of the high prices of corn and the strong basis that we've seen. Sometimes it just makes sense to go ahead and sell some of that inventory that they have because you're going to make more on the corn than you're actually going to make on producing the ethanol. But one thing that's going to be very important next week is the weather, of course. And right now we're going to have crop conditions reported on Monday. I think this is going to be a major driver in the market early on. We've had some very dry weather in Illinois and Indiana. One thing that I think you guys should pay attention to, look at last week. For severe drought in Illinois, we had 7%. Now we've moved up to 27% of planted acres over there. So I'm concerned that we're really going to have a drop in some of those conditions. If you take a look at Indiana, this is the same situation. We went from 5% to 36%. Severe drought conditions. So this is not good. We need some rain. However, on the horizon, Planalytics has produced this alert sent out to its clients today, and it looks as though the weather is shaping up so that the first week in July there is a possibility that we start to get some rain in those regions. So I guess the big thing is, will Sunday night's update in the forecast, will that start to show any of this possibility for rain? If it doesn't, I think that we could start to see rallying. But of course, we also have planted acres report and stocks next week, so we're going to be fighting some position evening and preparation for those. So it's going to be an interesting week next week. We're going to have weather markets in preparation for some huge reports on Friday.
All right. I think that about does it for today. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.